And we back. Welcome to the idea of where we explore the noise and nuance and everything in between. I am Mike.
And I've got bronchitis.
Bronchitis Bassey. And this is the space where creativity,
I don't like how that sounds
culture,
actually, but points.
Bronco Bossy, and conversation collide.
I
What's
can't even laugh
up?
at me.
Bossy's back, y'all. Woo! Bossy's back. I
Applause,
missed you,
applause,
Bossy.
applause.
I
Thank you.
really
I missed you
did. Like,
too. I missed
I
it.
really missed
It
we
was
just
a
got so much.
honestly. Let me tell the audience because I didn't listen to the entire episode, but I saw it on. I was looking through YouTube for whatever reason, and our video popped up. And I was like, "Oh, let me watch this a little bit. Let me see Mike's soul thing." Mike was like, "Oh, Bossy's got a cold. She got allergies. She fell
I
down
didn't
and hurt
know at
herself."
that
I
time.
was like,
You're
"What
like,
kind
I'm
of positive
dying,
thing?"
actually.
I was like, Actually, I can't breathe. Actually, I can't stop coughing. Actually, like what? I have bronchitis." No, but it was one of those things that like escalated really, really quickly. So I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I don't feel well. Sore throat. I coughed twice. Let me go to the doctor." They did all the tests. Everything's negative. I was like, "All right, I guess I'm good." That evening, it was a wrap. It was a
Dang.
wrap for me for it's going on, it's 3 weeks now. It's going on 4. And
Jeez.
I'm still like I was telling you earlier, if it's too cold, if it's too hot, um, if I like lay back, I can literally feel fluid in my lungs. And I'm just like, and then for some reason, I kept Googling it because I was like, this makes no sense. Like around 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, no matter what I do, hot, cold, anything, I'm just having a coughing fit. And so
Jeez.
now it's gone from, and I can't like inhale it's a lot. Like it's not fun. And I've had bronchitis before, but this felt mad different. Felt mad different.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Bronchitis is the one that, if not managed, could turn into pneumonia. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Be careful, man.
Yeah.
It's because
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're at least feeling well enough to talk. We
Yeah.
have a lot to catch up on,
So
yo.
much going on. Just can't recline. Blasted holes in the night
Shoo!
till she I've been listening, that's another thing. I've been listening to Black Star, Black on Both Sides. Shit, what's the other one? What are the other ones? A bunch of Tribe,
Yeah.
Midnight Marauders, De La Soul, Stakes at my comfort.
Yeah, for real. I went back and listened. I don't know if the Ecstatic album, Most Def's album, I don't know if it just celebrated an anniversary, but for some reason it's been all over my timeline. And folks are like, because no one listened to it then, right? And so I guess the younger folks are discovering it, rediscovering it. So I went back and listened. That album is freaking amazing. Like that album is like Most Def was I remember specifically, like, I thought Most Def was about to be the next one after that album.
Between
Like,
that and the acting and just everything, he was just 10 years too early.
yo, he
He was
really
just
was.
10 years because I've had this conversation before. Kendrick has the career in retrospect that I thought most was gonna have
Mhm. Yeah,
because
he had it.
he's my favorite MC. Like, he's
Yeah.
been going through my timeline for some reason. I guess young kids are listening
Yeah.
to it now, but I kept seeing him, and every time I stop and I'm like, "This nigga's fucking
So
amazing.
he's and
It's
now
fucking amazing."
I don't know if you've seen, he has a Substack where he's been releasing music.
I did not know
And
that. Is that where
yeah,
you
I
got
think
that clip from? I
yeah.
subscribe to no Substacks.
Yep,
I'm in
that's where
there.
I
I'm about
got
to
it
do
from.
that.
And he's releasing like one song a week, or he's doing like previews
Oh,
of
wow.
beats. But I mean, he's still got it, but he's like, when MCs get to a certain age where they have like nothing to prove, like
Mhm.
it's almost like he's jazz freestyling on
Mm,
his songs. Just like
might be.
you could almost visualize him like sitting back in a chair, just like rhyming words together, just like that.
Yeah.
And it's still brilliant
Ill.
though. Like it's
He's so
still
ill.
crazy.
I think that he got disillusioned with the industry, and
Yeah,
I think he
yeah.
kinda like, "I'm gonna leave this before" I don't know what before, but had he not gotten disillusioned and back in the day, like, it's easy, like, the artists were
Yeah.
getting, you know, most of the mathematics ahead of its time, mathematics from ahead
Yes.
I'm listening to, I'm
Yo,
like, Nostradamus.
for real.
Mostradamus. Hey, okay. Um, yeah, like that. There's some songs where he's talking about surveillance and like other people surveilling. I was like, you had it. Like just 10 years too early.
Man,
10 years too
man.
early.
It's
He's
like
so dope.
I'm telling you, I think we've talked about this a couple times, but, like, those artists at the genius level, whether, like, explicit or implicit genius, they just the game can't have them. Like, we can't have them the way that we should be able to have them as artists, and
Yeah.
they either go "crazy," quote, unquote, like, they leave the country, go underground, and we never hear from them, but it's like, what a disservice, and I say this with all respect to these artists, but kinda like the line that Andre 3000 got flack for when he came out with the Flute album, he was like, what do I have to share? Like, what does
Mhm.
anybody wanna hear from, a 50-year-old MC?" Like, you know what I'm saying? And
A
I
lot,
think that is
plenty, but
exactly what we need,
yeah.
and I
But
think that
I have to respect the fact that Andre specifically, has chosen himself, number 1, but also is aware of the fact that if he says he doesn't have anything to say, respect that. Because there are a
yeah,
bunch of people out here who have nothing to say and won't stop dropping and won't stop
won't
releasing.
stop talking, right, right,
Yeah,
right,
but
right.
I think that the clips
Yeah, exactly.
really show the blueprint of how
Yes.
these MCs can come back and how these MCs can find new audiences while still retaining their old ones. I think
Yeah,
it's possible. I want Push and Malice to start doing workshops. Like call your people, do a conference call. Like you
yeah,
guys figured this out. And it's important. I remember Eric Sermon did an interview randomly after the clips came out. And he was like, it's time, we can do this. And then somebody else was like, no, old head shouldn't be rhyming. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Can
uh-huh,
we pause
uh-huh,
1 second?
okay.
Do it like a Bussamina. Just gonna do this.
Alright, we're back. Yeah, yeah, so
Hello,
we
hello.
were just talking about the clips and how they've been able to walk that fine line of getting older, making good music, like, the sound of the music sounds relevant and still being almost 50. And
Yeah.
I think there's a parallel to society, especially I think this is a part that should be considered is that a lot of Black men, I think when they get to a certain age, they withdraw.
Mhm.
They kinda like, "Ah, no, y'all got it, like, no place for me in this game," whatever the game
Mhm.
is, right? And I see that in careers, I see that with a lot of people with their families, where, you think of even stereotypically the dad in the house kinda sitting in the living room, nobody's bothering him, he's just watching TV, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think
Yeah, my
we
paper.
see a lot of MCs, like, doing the same thing where it's actually like, "No, like, dad, we need you, like, we need your." You don't have to
Yeah.
say a lot, you don't
Yeah,
have
you need to say
to take up
something.
a lot of space, but we need you to
But
say something.
mm, I I was like I said, I've been listening to a lot of whatever. And then after your playlist, I don't know, like Apple Music, like you might also like, and then they start playing something.
Mhm.
And the other day they started playing Buddy De La Soul, but it
Mm,
sounded really different. And I was like,
really?
why
Oh,
does this sound so different? And I stopped it and I went and looked it up. It's like they redid it in 2023.
oh, I didn't
And
know
a
that.
lot of like white singers have been redoing old songs because it can bypass the
Copyright.
copyright. So they get
Mhm.
like Taylor Swift did that. Taylor she re-recorded all of her albums so that she
Oh,
owns
yeah,
them
that's
now.
right, that's right.
And I was like, because a lot of it, the disillusionment is fucking Lear Cohen or whatever Cohen stealing people's money. And I feel like if they could do that, recoup on that, I feel like there'd be more incentive for them to like to start doing the same like the Millennium Tour, Raucous Records,
Right,
Lyricist Lounge Tour, like,
right,
I feel like there'd
right.
be more incentive to that. I just think a lot of them are so disillusioned.
Yeah.
I need to give somebody that idea. Have they thought about that? Because I need them to
No,
do
I
it.
I think we're seeing a lot of R&B acts do that. I mean,
Yeah.
right now, I mean, I think a homegirl of mine just said she's gonna go see Keith Sweat and Drew Hill this weekend, you
Mhm.
know? I know there was a tour, SWV and TLC, I think, like, the R&B acts are recognizing, like, there's a void
Yeah.
in R&B for traditional soul sounds, and they're capitalizing on that. I feel like there was a time where the MCs were touring. I saw Wu-Tang last year, and I know like even 50 went on a little tour. Busta went on a tour a couple years ago, but in terms of like creating new sounds and new music, it's just kind of like it's definitely a void. And like we were saying before, May 15th,
It's May
Iceman,
15th. Oh god.
I- Iceman,
I was like, "Happy birthday." No, that's
Iceman,
fine.
Iceman is back.
Yeah.
And from what I'm hearing,
From who?
from people on the street, I've heard a couple snippets, like, it's it's not sounding like the Drake we hate. Say it like that.
Okay, okay.
It's sounding more mature.
Oh, thank God.
It sounded like, after the beef, everything he released, outside of the sexy songs for you, when he was dropping the onesie twosies, like he was so angry, you could hear it. Like, he was he was rapping like the dude just got beat up in front of the world and trying to come back like, "Hey, I'm still," but the snippets I've heard, he sounds relaxed. I played it for Danielle and Tiffany, Danielle's sister, and our first reflection was like, "Oh, he's sat on somebody's couch. Like, he had therapy." You could hear it. I mean, he
Oh,
says it.
really?
He says, "Tuesdays is my therapy," and he's talking through, like, he had a line that I had to write down. He said, "I don't fall in love, I fall in patterns." I was like, "Oh, shit, like, what counselor told you that?"
Oh.
That shit, like, I was like,
Oh,
and his whole
okay.
rhyme was about the patterns that he's fallen into in life. I was like, "Okay, okay."
Okay, we
I don't
learned.
wanna, you know, I don't wanna put the cart before the horse, but it definitely sounded like, when we were criticizing Drake earlier, it sounded like the Drake that we were criticizing, like, okay, he's gonna do something different with this album and
I
be his
mean,
age and be
I hope
38 years
so.
old or whatever,
I hope so.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for him in that regard. I really am,
yeah.
'cause that was the
You
only
also
issue I had.
rooted for Cole too.
You said what?
I said you also rooted for Cole too.
I did, and he disappointed me.
I know, that's why I say
So,
I don't want you to root for Drake. I feel like just keep the hate at the same level and let him surprise us. Me
I
too. Like,
I'm
my expectations are at ease. I'm not hype. I'm not like, "Oh, it's gonna suck." I'm just like, "All right, let me just hear what he has to say."
yeah, I'm gonna listen to it. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm gonna give it a fair chance. I'm gonna walk in honest. I'm not a Drake fan.
Mhm.
But, like I told you, like, Apple Music will when you're done, it'll start playing other things,
Yeah.
and there were a couple of Drake songs, I don't even know what album from, I was like, "Okay." There was even a Cole song, but then apparently it came out, like, 2003,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it was a Cole song that I really liked. I was like, "I like the song."
Mhm.
So I'm open-minded, I like hip hop music.
Yeah.
That's all
It's
I
gonna
want,
be
I just
good.
want hip hop music.
It's gonna be good. And I mean, the criticism, I mean, outside of Drake, but people have been saying that there's a void in popular rap music right now because Drake hasn't been in the game. Even if he was just a punching bag,
That's
like,
crazy to me, though.
his absence, it means something. I mean, I can feel it. Like, as someone that, like, consumes new, old, rap, like, there's definitely a sound that
I isn't
is
that problematic?
I think it is,
His
absolutely, I
game
think it
'cause
is.
Game said the same thing where he was like he basically said, the industry's suffering because Drake's not around." And I'm like, "You as an MC, that don't make you feel bad?
Right, right,
One
right, right.
nigga's not doing it and you are sad about it? You
Yeah.
I think that Drake made people really lazy during his
I
15
think
minute,
you're right.
15-year run because
I think you're
it
right.
doesn't make any sense for one person still making music, but not hitting the charts and all that, and the
Yeah.
entire industry is like, "Oh,
I think it's a
we're
try,
not
and
doing things ain't be the same."
I think it's like what you were saying, like, and how algorithms work and streaming, like, when you listen to a certain to this type of music, your algorithm say, "Hey, you might like this."
Mhm,
And so when there's no Drake there, there's no, like, the branches of Drake, the
mhm.
Future branch, the Rick Ross branch, the whoever, they I think it's like there's no dots connecting, and Drake was that connector for 10 years.
But the thing is, I think that to that point, when somebody I'm gonna use my sister as an example. My sister worked for the NFL for 15 years. It's a perfect correlation, for
Mhm,
15 years,
mhm,
and the job that she was doing as she got up, she was doing more work, right? But because the person, right, like her direct boss, like right over her, would
mhm.
not leave,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
she kept hitting the ceilings. Like
Right,
if anybody else was doing the work that I do for as long as I've done, I would be 2 steps ahead, 3 steps ahead of this one person, but that
right.
person wouldn't leave. So
Yeah,
now, let's say that person leaves, but you have to catch up. You got all this other stuff that you've got to do because
yeah,
that person would not move from that position. And I think that that's what's going on with hip hop and Drake. But instead of people um, dissecting that, they're putting it all on Drake. Oh, it's because of
yeah,
Drake. He's the reason
yeah,
why all these things are collapsing. Well, no, you didn't do the work. You
yeah.
weren't working up
You
until
didn't fill that void.
right there.
Yeah,
You didn't take advantage of that. You got lazy.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
like, I'll call Drake and get a hit, and that's it. And I think that when hip hop, when rap started focusing so hard on charts and numbers,
it's
of
yep.
course, you're not gonna I don't know, so
Yeah, no, you're spot on, you're spot on. Everybody got lazy. Drake got lazy, you know what I'm
mhm.
saying? And that's what caused everything. But yeah, I think we're in for a good summer, and also, right, like, I feel like Black entertainment right now is we're at a low right now. I mean, when
I
I
think
say
so.
entertainment, I mean, like, the the Black online sphere, the blackosphere. It's like w there's disarray right now, and,
It's in shambles.
the culture, whatever the culture is, being mismanaged, and the voices that are representing Black men, Black women, Black gay folks, single, married, whatever, it's off. Like, it's off right now. Oh, Bossy's coughing. Uh-oh, we got one cough. We got one
I'm
cough.
gonna mute it. I'm gonna mute it, so don't even,
No, it's all
like
good.
I'm just gonna mute it. That's why I was like, video no video because 'cause I'm going to have to and also I
Okay.
haven't spoken this much in 3
Yeah,
weeks, so that's a lot
yeah.
of it. So, yeah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, yeah, so, I mean, what have you I know you've been kinda offline the past few weeks. I've been more online the past few weeks, and I'm disgusted. I'm
Yeah,
disgusted, and I'm gonna say it, and I'm not whenever a Black man talks against Black men, they get called simps, they get called panderers and all
panderers,
that.
yeah.
But yo, niggas is tripping right now, dog. Like, Black men right now, we are down bad, and I
Bad.
don't even like part of what I discovered even more so in the last few weeks is I don't like to be lumped in with Black men, but I'm a Black man, and I have to, like, what I'm saying? Like, it's this crazy space because in every corner of the internet, in every corner of culture, and every corner of whatever we're digesting, news, media, whatever, music, Black men are just looking so fucking whack right now.
Yeah, y'all look a little weird.
Look fucking crazy. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, how do I cannot. I used to be king of, like, "Don't lump me with those niggas." I used to be a not me kinda guy, right?
Yeah.
And we
And
know,
you've
like
always argued from the point of me and my people aren't.
right, right,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And what I've discovered in the last, month or so is even that stance could be seen as whack, right? Like, taking that stance of like, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't do," like, and so I've tried to just take a step back and just listen and take things in as they come, and I'm fucking disgusted, yo. I'm
Yeah.
not e
What
this is not podcast Mike, I'm not pontificating, like, that shit makes me angry to see how black men are not even being portrayed, how black men are acting,
yeah.
are being.
Give the people an example, like,
It's
one of the things
too
that's happening.
many. It's too fucking many, Bossy. Like, most recently, I just saw Stephen A's back talking again,
About what?
encouraging, defending Donald Trump. Literally, like, not he's in the past have been a little. He hasn't been as specific. He was the kind of like, well, the Democrats need to haven't done anything for black people, so we need to think about. No, yesterday he said literally, Donald Trump isn't doing that bad of a job. We need to give him a chance. And black people should all vote Republican because the Democrats aren't doing anything for us. Like, this was yesterday on a podcast with Fat Joe and Jadakiss. I'm like, why y'all giving this nigga a platform? What
Why
what
aren't
are
you
we?
pushing back just a little? Like, what are you talking about? That I've s That's okay. Okay.
So that's one. That's the most recent one. Then,
That's crazy.
I'm thinking
Of
of
all
music, and then
people. Ugh, okay, go ahead.
like, and then just, so that's a mixture of the political sphere. Stephen A is a sports writer, and the rap sphere because he's with Fat Joe and Jadakiss, and then the whole thing with Klay Thompson and Meg the Stallion. Not even their relationship, because I don't know or care about the status of the relationship, but the response from black men about what happened, what they think happened, putting their life on what Clay did and what Meg should do. Like, what?
They're
What are
the
y'all
ones the
doing?
ones
What?
who were like, "We told you it wasn't gonna last because A, B, C, and D." Okay, first of all, it was over a year. That's longer than any of y'all relationship, keep it a buck. But
Right.
I'm not Meg's target audience. I root for her
Yeah.
because she seems harmless and she's gone through a lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I'm like, good for you. Like, he seems like the nicest guy. He
Hmm.
seems like he comes off like fucking sociopath. I'm sorry, that's some sociopathic behavior that he displayed. But I root for her because I do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I don't understand why niggas hate her so much. Like, from
I,
her getting shot to uh whether or not her albums do well, this whole like they hate her.
I don't understand
They
it.
hate her, and it's wild to me because I can't find the reason, even within the reasons that make sense to other people, making fun of a woman getting shot, celebrating the fact that she's heartbroken. Like, that shit doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. Like, why are so also, Bossy, we haven't had a chance to talk on mic about, the Justin and Serena Fairfax thing, not thing, the murder of Serena Fairfax at the hands of her husband. We haven't had a chance to talk about it. I don't think you'd heard, but there was, like, the day after, there was a man in Shreveport, Louisiana, that shot his baby mother, his ex-baby mother, and killed 7 of his children. Killed them, age 1 to, like, 12.
Why?
The next
Alexa,
day
stop.
2 days after Serena Fairfax was killed. Why? Who knows? I don't know.
Wait, so
But
7 how many kids did he have?
he
Just
had
out of
8
curiosity.
kids.
He killed 7 out of 8?
He tried to kill the 8th one, but she had to escape. It was a 12 or 14-year-old girl, had to jump on a roof and jump off the roof to escape him. He shot the 2 baby mothers, and he shot a child that was sleeping over at his children's house who wasn't even
God.
his, killed that child, it was a baby.
My God.
So
What
this is the
the
part that has
fuck?
I can't even process that and put a reason as to why, but in my mind, there is a clear line between a nigga that will champion and get happy when a woman gets hurt. So the niggas that were cheering for Meg Thee Stallion and her breakup, the people that didn't believe who shot her, that she got shot, that she was lying, those same people would either be the ones to kill, like it's a trajectory, it's a line, right?
It's violent misogyny.
Yeah, and it starts internally, and it's internal and external, right? So they have these feelings and they externalize it on women. And then eventually they get into a relationship, and worst case scenario is because of those violent feelings that they have towards women that they don't even know
Mhm,
or don't even have the chance to get to know,
mhm,
they misplace that anger and aggression on the people that they're supposed to love and protect. And
mhm.
so that's why I was like, I don't understand why black men, popular folks with microphones that are speaking up on this issue with Meg, with all negatively. Like I just don't fucking understand it.
Men a lot of men hate their mothers. I can't figure out how else to put it. They
Okay,
hate their mothers.
continue.
Like,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
that's the first woman, and I think that because when you look at the way that 'cause the idea is always, black men love their mamas, love their mamas, love their mamas, and that is true to an extent, but a number of men blame their mothers for whatever it is that their fathers did. "You're the
Or
reason why
didn't do.
X. You're the
Yeah.
reason why. You're the reason why." What else reason would it be? Because when I see him, he's da 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 da. When I
Yeah.
see you, you're making me do shit. You're yelling at me. Yeah, 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 yeah. So it's displaced anger in the sense also that when you're told, and this is white people too, when you're constantly being told that you're the leader, you're the head, you're the this, you're the
Mm,
that,
mhm,
and you don't feel that in your personal life, it becomes violent. When you care about shit like that, when you care about shit like that, let
mm,
me put that there.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
It becomes violent, and I've been saying for years that a lot of men are homosexual. They love their brothers, like, they love, like, "My man, I'll
Right.
do anything with my man, like, my man call me, ah, da, da."
Uh,
But, like, fuck these hoes.
yo.
Imagine if Tory got shot,
Right.
if it was the other way around.
Yeah, yeah,
My God,
right.
weeping
Yeah,
and rendering of garments.
they're still saying free Tory after,
They
like,
said it at the reason is like, "Oh, he broke up with her because he know that she was lying about."
come on now, come on. So my thing is this, right? And this, did I say this when we were recording or before we start recording? But like how I'm processing this personally as a black man, right? Like you can't help but see how we're being portrayed. We can't help but see like black men right now are down bad culture wise, narrative wise. And the narrative is important, right? Like the
Mhm,
narrative is how people process large amounts of information. You bring it all in and you create a narrative and you move accordingly. So, as a black man processing all this, like, I'm embarrassed. Like,
mhm,
I feel I'm disgusted by this. And I know for a fact, 10, 20 years ago, I'm almost 50, 20 years ago, I would definitely be like, not all black men, like not me. That's the first thing you do. Like all that went back when, in the 90s and 2000s, it was like all black men are dead or in jail. Remember that? Like
mhm,
there's more
mhm.
black men in jail than in college. And I'll be like, shit, I'm in college. Fuck these. It's like that's
Yeah.
like the natural, I feel like that's the normal human first response. And so even when Serena Fairfax was killed, like, and there was instantly, like, not even a day after she was killed, there were so many of the black women that I saw were like, black men, black men, black men, y'all need to black men, y'all need to alphas, y'all need to black men, the politics, y'all need to. And I'm like, black men, what the fuck? I ain't do nothing. Like, so that was
Yeah.
like my gut. And then I had to literally, like, check myself because that it's not about that. It's not about me. It's not about,
Yeah.
like, me in terms of, like, h how this makes me feel because and what brought it home for me is that I can't remember if I made up this analogy or if I stole it from somewhere, but I wrote a piece on my Substack and I was like, what made it click for me was if Derek Chauvin, the man that killed George Floyd, right? If he pulled me over in Memphis or somewhere and let me go and he was nice to me, and then the very next day he killed George Floyd on TV, I would never in a million years consider like, well, hey, he was nice to me. Like, so I couldn't imagine if me coming out at that time saying, "Oh, Derek Chauvin, he's a good cop," like how that would have made George Floyd and his family feel.
Mhm.
So I feel like as black men, a lesson that I am learning right now is I can't my first response can't be, well, this black man, like I'm good to black women.
Mm.
What kind of message does that send to the black woman in my circle and all
Yeah.
the black women that have experienced violence and that are scared and that are, I posted a thing on Instagram yesterday, like, black women in general have to share their location. They got to tell people where they're going. They have to be scared when they walk outside. They got to have mace in their purse. And then you
Constant
have black
vigilance.
men saying, spending 4 hours online talking about women ain't shit. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Where's the disconnect?
Well, the thing is that it's almost like there's a serial killer on the loose, right?
Right.
And his
Right.
roommate says, "He can't be a killer because he hasn't killed me." That's the exact
Right.
same kind of,
Right. Right.
"He can't be a killer because he didn't kill me." And I think that there's a couple of things that happen where all not all white oh, no, sorry, not all black men needs to be like, "Why then is it sometimes black men?" It's usually black men. Do you know what I mean? Not all
Hmm.
black men, but usually in certain situations, and this is universal, not all men, but why is it men most of the
Mostly
time?
men. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
why is it mostly men? And
Yeah.
and I think that for women, we also kinda have to move away from the all men dichotomy or
Mm.
yeah, all men, not men, because it makes it adversarial.
Right.
So now there's an
Right.
argument as opposed to a conversation, a mass movement. But then also online, a lot of people, a lot of women just want people to say it online. And I think that that's when you get the people who will just say anything because they
Yes.
know it's the right thing to say. We've learned how to say
Right.
the right thing. But
Right.
outside of that, like in our real lives, what happens? What is the conversation? How do you check your boy? How do you say,
Right. In real
why
time.
are you doing that? And it's not even like, "Oh, I'm on your baby mama's side." It's like, "Why are you acting like that?"
Right,
Like,
right,
let's talk
right.
about why you're acting like that because it doesn't make sense and you're coming off real crazy. Like, that
Crazy
needs to
right
be
now. Yeah,
the conversation
yeah,
instead of
and
just
this
sort of like, and I see it in my in I don't know if Ellington does this, but he does this thing where he'll say something, "Yeah, my friend, blah, 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 blah." I'm like, "Oh, well, how'd that happen? Where'd he go? Where's his dad from?" "I don't know. I don't know. I don't know."
right,
I'm like, "That's your best friend. You don't know anything about
right.
him other than
Happens so often, right?
you they're not curious in the same way that women are when it comes to that. I'll meet
Mm,
somebody standing behind them at Giant. I'll know a lot of information by leave. I know more about her than she knows about herself
right,
because
right.
that's the we I think that women are socialized
There
to
we
be
go. Yep,
community oriented
yep.
and men are socialized to
To
be
be individuals.
self-actualized.
Yeah, to be individuals. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. And I feel like, you brought up the point you brought it up before, and every time you say it, I kind of bristle at it, but I think there's so much truth when you say, like, that men hate their mothers. And that the and I know you're not saying, like, exactly hate their mothers, but I think a lot of men, as they get older, they see the faults in their mothers, and they place that on their idea of women,
Yeah.
right? Like, however they saw their mother mistreat their fathers, which when I say mistreat, is just like they saw their mothers and fathers arguing.
Yeah.
And
Or nagging,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then
like normal shit that happens in all relationships on both sides, right? But they internalize what their mothers did or didn't do and then place it on all women.
yeah,
And I
yeah. Because
I
they
think
they
there's
don't, and that goes back to them not knowing what it is their father did.
right. Right,
Like, you don't
exactly. Or just siding with dad all the time, because
yeah.
like, you side with the person or people that you feel a bigger connection with or that you share more in common with. So, like, that's not I don't think that's necessarily wrong, like, in
I
a
mean, it's
family.
simplistic, like, y yeah, it's simplistic.
Right, it's just normal, that's human behavior, that's human, you side with the team that looks like you, like, that's human. But once you insert other people and you insert culture and you insert society, like, there has to be older men that are able to check you. But all of this shit is tied in my mind, Bossy, I promise you. When older this is what when older black men, when they get older, they are socialized and conditioned or feel as if like my voice doesn't matter here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna let shit burn around me because these niggas is crazy. I'm gonna just stay back here. And I think there's just generations and generations of men, young men, middle-aged men, older men, that have never seen the full trajectory of what men go through. Like,
Mhm,
and what men like, how men should respond to being frustrated or how
mhm,
men other than retreating, right? Like,
mhm.
we know how to do that shit. We know how when shit hits the fan, be like, "Fuck, I'm out of here. I'm slamming the door. I'm taking the car. I'm driving to
Yeah,
7-Eleven. I'm whatever that." We know what that looks like,
that's
but
a
we don't know, and this is a collective we, what it looks like for a man to be disappointed, let down, rejected, overlooked, fucking mistreated, which are all normal things. Like, that's just what happens with people. You get let
mhm,
down, all these shits, and not be reactionary and not be like, fuck this, I'm throwing the table over. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And so that is specifically why I utilize my platform to try to like normalize normal ways for niggas to react to shit.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? Like, just if you're mad, I think a lot of younger men personalize, like, if I get mad, the world doesn't appreciate when I get angry, or, I
mhm,
can't be angry in the way that feels natural to me. So I'm just going to retreat and I'm going to harm myself physically or internally or emotionally, or I'm going to harm someone else. We know how to
yeah,
do that,
yeah.
but we don't know how to like go through the full fucking process of being angry, retreating, returning,
Thinking
addressing
about
it,
it. Exactly,
talking,
exactly.
and being like, "Damn, I was wrong," or "Damn, what I
I
felt
was
was
right
really
still, but
was right. I'm
yeah,
mad, but I'm gonna move on, and I'm not gonna kill anybody,
yeah,
and I'm not
yeah.
gonna hurt anybody or hurt myself."
There's an adage, there's a couple things I said, but there's an adage, or men are afraid of getting their feelings hurt and women are afraid of being hurt, as
Mm,
in physically harmed. Like, you go
right,
try and talk to a girl somewhere and she's like, "Your
right.
feelings are hurt." But now she has to be afraid of what you're gonna do in retaliation. Your feelings are
Yeah,
hurt, you're embarrassed because your boys are like, "Ah." And so I think that has to be part of it. And a lot of what I think that women should leave it alone. As in, this is not our conversation to have. We've been talking
yeah,
about this. We've
yeah.
been, we've been talking in circles. It is not our conversation
It's
to
really
have.
not.
And
Yeah.
it's not, I think that there is a way to, okay, for instance, I never taught Alawe to be polite to people. Like, I never
Mhm,
taught him that, but
mhm,
I've
mhm.
always been. I've always been, "Thank you, please." I've been that person, and he just became that person too.
Right,
It was
right, right.
modeled, right? And I
Yeah.
think that there isn't enough. sincere, authentic modeling of behavior. Because
Yeah,
it always like the kid already did something, and now you gotta tell them like, "Young brother," like, you have to, like, correct the thing they already did, as
that's
opposed
so
to
true.
being, "How are we
Yep.
preventative? How do we prevent this from taking place?"
I
And
I
also, I
agree with
think that
yeah.
no,
No,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. No,
Well,
you go
no,
ahead.
I also think, and just to be very fair, I think that women, we also have to be conscious of the way that we speak to and speak about men and the men in our lives, and also understanding what our reaction, where that our impetus for action and our reaction has to always be also be evaluated, because so many times we're having different conversations. We're yelling at each other,
Mhm,
but your
mhm,
reason and your the background that you're having, and we're fighting about different things. Let's give you a perfect example. I was in Nigeria, one of the first times I was in Nigeria, like in
mhm,
2004, and I just got there. I was in the airport. I mean, I just came from the airport. The people who picked me up were like, "We have to stop and get da da da." I was like, "I'm tired. I'm gonna stay in the car." So I'm sitting in the car, and most establishments in Lagos specifically have gates. Like, even if it's a store or whatever, then there's a person who will, like, open the gate, let you in.
mhm,
These 2 cars, grocery store, these 2 cars for some reason were trying to come in at the same time. Not
mhm,
like, "Oh no, you go, you go." They were like, I'm not yielding. So they both like came into this little gate together, and they were super close,
uh-huh.
right? They hopped out of the car like, "You fucking hit my car. No, you hit my car. How'd you die?" And I'm like, "Nobody, not there are no cars being hit.
Right.
You were upset because some shit that happened when you left your job. You're mad because of some other thing, and now you're taking out on this person
Yeah.
because they hit your car." And I think a lot of that is the same, like, sort of like, "You stepped on my sneaker" type behavior. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? Like, that
mhm,
kinda,
yeah,
like, you're not mad about the sneaker, you're mad about the fact that you didn't make enough money at your job, and now you have to save up for you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much going on, and people aren't having the same conversation. We're not having the
yeah,
same argument, and it gets to the point where, at some point, we need to be like, "This is not just, like, genetically, biologically engineered into black men or black women. It's
right.
social. So how are we gonna have this social conversation to fix this? Or
Yeah,
or make it better? Or just not let's not make it worse. How about that?"
yeah, 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 agreed. I wish that there were more people like us having these conversations in public, where we can say that we're on the same side. We can say I think the conversation I just heard a podcast this morning where someone was saying, there's an attack on masculinity. That was another thing that Stephen A said yesterday, that there's an attack on masculinity. So my thing is masculinity? Like, what are we talking about? There can't be an attack on masculinity when niggas are killing women.
Yeah.
You can't say that with full authority, understanding that
But
what
just this is, again, this is like on y'all, but it's also on how we talk about black how we talk about black masculinity.
yeah,
I think it's sometimes it's only recognized when it's, like, violent, or not violent, but, like, aggressive,
yeah,
right? I was,
yeah,
on TikTok, and, uh, Messiah, T.I.'s son, one of T.I.'s son, the one
uh,
that's, like, the blues musician, I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah,
Buddy Red is what he goes by. He's doing an interview, and he's just talking, and it's like, it's like, I'm like, "Wow, I'm really impressed by how T.I.'s older kid, like, they're really, like, onto something." And
mhm.
I'm looking through the comments, and it was just like, "Oh, he's gay. Oh, he's sugar. Oh,
Soft
I didn't
ass
know he had so much
nigga,
sugar in his."
yeah,
The
yeah,
man is just talking. Granted, he's not like, it's like he was softer, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
his voice
yeah,
was low, his mannerisms were just, he was literally just moving around,
yeah,
right? But he wasn't, like, posted up like this and, he wasn't doing
yeah,
that. The comments were filled with men and women talking about, "Oh, he's gay," and, "Oh, I didn't know he was so feminine," and, "Now it makes sense." Like, all these things, it's like, you're I almost commented, but I was like, "I don't care." I'm already getting the audiobook beat down on another comment thread. I'm good. But it just makes me really sad. I was like, how unfortunate it is for you that the only image of Black men masculinity is violent, aggressive,
Right.
harsh, hard,
Misogynistic. Yeah.
overbearing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And, like, all of the things are, like, assertive and steadfast, and
Mhm.
these are the adjectives
Right.
and the
Right.
behavior that people are now mistaking for aggression and violence,
Right.
or
Right.
wanting and expecting that. Black men feel like that's how they have to be, and Black women think that's how y'all are.
That's how we have. Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that I've learned about manhood and masculinity is that the number one characteristic that I have to embody as a man that has saved my life, that has saved the life of others, that like literally that has enhanced my career, that has made me a better husband and father and listener and colleague is restraint. That is the number one characteristic of manhood that I
Mhm.
think is the least understood and
It
the
becomes,
least
"I ain't no punk, you're not gonna hold me."
right, like, it's the least understood and the least demonstrated
Mhm,
because everybody is afraid to be soft or be
mhm.
perceived as weak. I have a
By
perfect
who?
example,
By who?
by other niggas.
Homosexuals.
You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
have a perfect this is like a playful example, but, like, we went to the Bruno Mars concert last week in DC,
Oh,
we were up there. Fantastic.
I love him. I went to the 24 Karat Magic concert. Got
He's
my
in
whole
my
life.
top 5 concerts of all time.
It is, and people front on him. But anyway, go ahead, Dad.
It was amazing, and I'm driving, right there on Route 50 where you have to get on 495 to go
Like,
to the
right there where I live, yes.
yeah, you're right there, right? And it was nuts. It was people coming from all directions. It was crazy, and I was like, "Dang, welcome to DC," right? So I'm driving, minding my own business, and my wife and Ellington was in the background, and they were joking me because like I wasn't driving aggressive. I was just driving really smart. And I was like, all right, um, I'm gonna ride this lane up, but I'm not gonna ride it all the way to the front and cut in because that's whack. And I hate when people do that. And I don't want anybody to pull out and shoot me just trying to get to Bruno Mars. Like I'm just trying to get to Bruno Mars. Like we're fine. So I'm driving, whatever. And I got in, cool. I waved back, thank you. And my internal monologue is like, I took someone's space. I'm gonna let someone in front of me. Like that's just
Mhm,
the right thing to do as a driver. So I'm doing, and I'm inching up. I don't want too many people to get in front of me, but
mhm,
I'm gonna let one get in. So I pulled up and I let someone get in front of me, like Danielle and Ellen to laugh, like, oh, you saw, yeah. And I didn't say anything, but I had this internal feeling that I was like, oh, y'all niggas don't think I could drive? Oh, I'm gonna show you. Like that's
I'll
what
hit
my heart
everybody gonna die.
That's what my heart was telling me. Like my gut at that moment was like, "Oh, I'm gonna cut everybody off. No one's gonna get in front of me." But I had to take restraint. I had to block out the noise in that moment and just be like, "I'm fine. Like I'm good. Like they're not gonna get there any faster than we are. Where
Mhm,
it's not that serious." But I feel like there are those moments in every man's life where everybody's life, this is a human
yeah,
thing, where you have to like focus on like not be reactionary
mhm,
to what our our whatever like our level instincts are telling us like on the surface is like oh fuck them I'm not gonna let but in reality that restraint
mhm.
to me in
We
that
are taught
moment
restraint, yeah.
with my wife and my kids in the back that were laughing at me is what made me be a man in that moment. You know what I'm saying? And I think
Mhm,
that's a silly example, but that to me is a demonstration of how dudes need to be moving right now.
mhm,
We need to
mhm,
be moving with restraint. We need to be moving with, and I think this is a flip. We need to be saying, how can I full-heartedly demonstrate my love for women online, in reality, at work, at home. What does that look like? And do I lose anything by not demonstrating that? Do I lose anything if I see Meg and Clay break up and be like, "Damn, I hope Meg's okay." Does that make like does that
The
change the
human
narrative?
response,
Huh?
the regular human empathetic response, is that
And
okay? You know what I
you
mean?
could
Like,
be like
that's just
both, like,
crazy to
"Dang,
me.
I hope they move on from this." If you don't wanna just focus on it, "Dang, I hope they move on for the," not like, "Oh, she a bitch, she can't keep a man," or "He's a punk, he's soft," like, what?
Okay,
Just
yeah, because he was a punk 6 months ago.
we all knew that.
Now he's the toxic king.
Come on, come on. Yeah, so
Well, okay, so I want to be balanced in this. So
mhm,
I said that a lot of men hate their mothers, but I
right,
also think that as a Black woman, the whole boy mom, my son is my king shit
uh-huh,
also has similar, if not the same effect. Because
mhm,
now you've got
mhm,
men who expect certain king treatment because that's
mm,
what their mom did. That's what my
yeah,
mom, and get very, and because oh, you're my king, my son would never when you have that and you move through the world with that attitude and that idea, it's going to affect the way that you treat
mhm,
women,
of course,
whether
yeah,
it be in a domineering way
mhm,
or in a expect to be treated this way and you're not doing that, and you know what I'm saying, like I think that boy mom culture also contributes to this, and I think that when it comes to Black families, using your son to replace your man
mhm,
is also a problem, is
yeah,
also one of the things that we need to that's the part the women need to talk about. Like, I think there are things that we need to talk about amongst ourselves, and y'all need to talk about amongst yourselves because the conversation that we're having or attempting to have, and this is online, so everything
yeah,
is
yeah,
everything is
yeah,
is is heightened and everything is,
doesn't have
times
nuance, yeah,
100,000 on both sides. Like, I'm so afraid. Like, people like women be like, "Oh, I'm so afraid to go to the grocery store now." Why? Like, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah,
now you just sound ridiculous. But they
right,
do that as well. I'm never gonna be in a relationship because Clay love bombed Megan. That's not
right,
how it works. That's not what we're supposed to learn from this situation.
right,
If we're supposed to
right,
learn anything at all from
right,
this
right,
situation.
right. And that's what I want for us too. Like, I want for Black people to disinvest
I
or
was like,
divest?
there's a word for that. Divest. It's divest.
Is it divest? It's not disinvest? No, divest. Okay, my bad. Imma make you have a bronchial attack, my bad.
Make me
Y'all know I'm smart.
Words are
Anyway,
made up. Words are made up
yeah,
anyway. It's
whatever.
gonna be, I mean, irregardless is a word now, so we're just doing
Exactly.
anything at this point. No, go ahead.
I want folks to divest
It's another thing.
in using celebrities as an extension or as a reflection
It's
of
avatars for them.
yes, of us. They
Mhm.
are not us. We are not them. And this is not saying I actually think it could go on both sides, but of course celebrities are people, they have their real lives, but also people have to realize that they're only showing us whatever they want to show us. We don't know anything other than what they want to show us. So folks are making full on think pieces about who Clay is, who Megan is, what happened.
I
We
saw
don't
one where there was like, so she probably forgave him so many times, and the reason why she went public is so that she could hold herself accountable.
how you know that? Who told you that? You know what I'm saying? Like relationships are so dynamic, right? Constantly that there is no way that we can think that we know all there is to know about anybody's relationship,
Mhm,
about our neighbor's relationship, about our parents' relationship, about our so I just want us to divest in this, and it's not like we could I think there's a place for idolizing celebrities based on their based on what they produce that they want to share back to us. If you wanna idolize Meg Thee Stallion because you think she's the best female lyricist and she does great music and she speaks on cool, do that, right? If you wanna idolize Jay-Z or Kendrick, cool, because they're artists and they put their art out for us to like, wow, put on our wall, look at that. But like this murky place of like trying to then understand like who these people are
Mhm.
and then connecting our experiences to theirs, it's just no, it's just a setup for failure. It's a setup
It
for like unnecessary confusion.
so there's modeling, and then there is the parasocial putting yourself exactly in the same spot and responding in the
Mhm,
way that you would respond if this happened to you. And that is
mhm.
not and this goes for men too. This is not because that's how men like, and that's why you don't buy women anything.
What?
Like,
Like, why are you even
what? How did
what
we
are you
get here?
talking about?
It's the same thing with when like a rich famous person has to pay like $45,000 a month in child support, and men be like, "Ah, men is all they're gold diggers. They're always trying to get me." Well, nigga, you work at Amazon. No one is digging for anything. You don't
Right,
have gold.
right, and you
You're
don't have any children,
$45 a
so,
month in
like, what are you
child
talking
support.
about? Right,
Like, you're fine. You'll be okay. These gold
right.
digging women will like, it'll be okay. And they did the
Will
same thing
not
where it's
look for
like the
you.
few times that it does happen, men also internalize. So they're like, "Ah, you're putting all your stuff on me." But you think that $450,000 a year in alimony affects your life somehow. So
Right.
now you're happy because the bitch didn't get any money. What does that got to do with you?
And why are you telling me?
Why are you talking about
Why are you putting that online? Like, why do you want that to
what?
be
That's what I'm saying. These
your
people don't
brand?
have friends for real.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
people don't have friends for real. They don't have anybody to talk to about this. And I think that my sister always has this thing where the internet should be shut down for a week. Just shut
yo,
it down. 1
I'm
week.
I'm in full agreement.
Let people fend for themselves
Yep,
and reset this whole shit because no one is really truly having these conversations in real life
in real life.
without either coming to a common understanding or just agreeing to disagree.
Yeah,
People I'll be quick. I'm like, agree to disagree. I'm not going back
yeah,
and forth anymore. I
yeah.
said my case. I'm gonna tell you the audiobook story
Oh, yeah, what
later.
was that? You mentioned
But
that one.
just one more thing that I wanted to say. Actually, lost my train of thought. But it was Megan Clay, but not really. It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
You had said earlier that you wanted to ask me something about it. Was
Yeah.
that
Now that we're talking about it, I don't want to. I don't want to do it
why?
publicly because it's gonna sound crazy. And I'll ask you offline. And if it's normal, we'll talk about it next week.
Okay,
Like, I
okay,
promise. I promise.
alright.
If it doesn't sound crazy, or if there's a way for either of us not to sound insane and add to the noise, then
Yeah,
because I don't wanna do that either.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
okay. Alright,
Um,
fair
but
enough.
I promise if we talk about it a little bit and you're like, "No, no, no, next week," then we can do that next week.
Yeah,
And I'd also like to separate the conversations too, because if we bring up anything like the internet is, they'll attach it to that. "Oh, so you're saying that." No, this is a whole
right.
different conversation we're having. So I'm trying to avoid that. So the audiobook conversation, I've been blessed for my algorithm now to be showing people. Have you seen that the thing with I sent it to you. The kids can't read where they have
Oh,
to
yeah, yeah,
read
yeah, yeah,
those
yeah. Oh,
words and
yeah, yeah.
they couldn't pronounce anything and
Mhm.
one of the things that
Colonel,
struck me and for
the
you as an
colonel.
educator is that okay, not knowing how to pronounce the words, okay. The lack of curiosity.
Mhm,
Not one of those kids asked, "Okay, how do you pronounce it? How
mhm.
do you say it?" The person who was doing the whole thing read it like silhouette, all that stuff, and then ask, "What does this mean?" And the kids could not tell you what they were like, "It means the silhouette of" that's what it says.
Right, right, right.
What does it
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm, mhm.
When people talk about the literary crisis, literacy
Literacy,
crisis,
yeah, uh-huh.
they act like people can't read. It's like it's an after school special 1985 is like, "Oh my god, I can't read." They don't understand. Like, it's the understanding that is part of literacy.
Right, right,
So,
yeah.
I saw this video, someone was talking, I was like, "This is why we can't call audiobooks reading." We can say consuming,
Mm.
we can say, listening, we can say listening, but people
Uh-huh.
are doing this thing, like, "I read da 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 da." It's like, no, because the thing that happens when you read is not only are you able to go over sentences, you're able to understand why this sentence is connected to this sentence, what the thought means, what the underlining, all these things are. When you're listening to an audiobook and you come across something you don't know or understand, if the next sentence makes the overall thing makes you understand it better, I'm moving on. Like, I'm gonna get to the end of this thing. When you're reading and you don't understand, when you're reading and there's a word that you don't know, you go and look it up,
Mhm,
right? You
mhm.
go and find out how it means, how it's used, whatever. And I was like, you don't get the same thing out of listening to an audiobook than you do writing. I'm not saying reading. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm
Mhm.
saying it's different. It teaches you
Mm,
different things. It activates different things. Even the idea of empathy, when you're reading something, supposed to feel something for the character. That's something you're supposed to interpret from the reading. When you're, and I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I'm listening to one right now. I do both. I read and listen. When the narrator changes their voice, and now, oh, I guess I'm supposed to be sad at this. That's what the narrator
mm,
said. But you don't
mhm,
understand why that sentence or that part or that passage is supposed to move you emotionally.
mhm.
All of that is part of literacy, media literacy, social literacy, understanding people around you, hearing what they said and not what you thought that you said, listening to what they said and not hearing what you want to hear. Like, all of that
Right.
is part of it. And we're losing that. Like, oh, so you're saying that if I was blind, I can't read. Or as a s
They were on your head? They were on your
as
head
an
'cause of it?
autistic woman with ADHD who was born without fingers and can't turn the pages, I can't turn the pages. Why then I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking about you then. You're a special, special, special pony.
Oh,
You're the
no.
specialest person in the world. You're a
They were on
special
you?
unicorn.
Where was
They
this?
I'll send you the thing. It was a Facebook, no, so it was
Was on
a
Threads?
TikTok, it was a TikTok
Oh,
video that I
okay, okay.
commented under. And it's just like people want to fight for their right to say and do anything that makes them feel better.
Mm, mhm,
They
mhm.
you're saying you I'm saying audiobook isn't reading. You're hearing, oh, you think you're better than me
Uh-huh,
because
uh-huh.
you read words. But that's what they're hearing. But that's not what I'm saying. And that also, and it's like, y'all are making my point. Y'all are
That is
making my point
hilarious.
about understanding and comprehension and cognitive.
Oh,
It's
well
because
well
remember when we were kids. But remember when we were
uh-huh.
kids, when we needed to know anything, we would have to go to the encyclopedia. And in
Right,
the
right.
process of looking for whatever it is, we would see other things and like, what's this now? Now you're like on your way to learning the thing that you wanted to learn. You're accidentally picking other stuff up.
Uh-huh.
Now, have you seen, sorry, I'm getting mad now. You've seen in videos where somebody will have in the caption, this is my favorite cup that I got from this place, this place. And then the video was them talking about it. And the comments are like, what is it called? Where is it? Where do I get it? Can somebody summarize the video for me?
Right.
These
It's
are our
right there.
future leaders.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
These are our future doctors. We're putting our trust in these people.
Well, Bossy, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I feel at one time I would have agreed with the audiobook and physical book difference that you're sharing, right? And I felt like I would almost I pretty much any book that I'm reading for pleasure that's not like for my, schooling, most books within the last 8 years I've done audiobook. Like
Mhm.
that is the way that I read right now. And for like the first 3 or 4 years, I wouldn't tell people because I felt like I was cheating or I was like, yeah, it's whatever. Until as a part of my work, we did a conference. We helped to put on this conference and I facilitated a panel of the science of reading experts. Like literally, this has happened last year. And there was this dope black woman from Morgan State. I can't think of her name. Dope black woman. She's a professor at Morgan State, and her specialty is the science of reading. Another white woman from University of Maryland, someone that worked at DCPS. And this entire panel was about there's a focus right now in schools, in school districts on like third grade reading metrics, right? And like there's a serious focus on how can we ensure that by the third grade that families and students have developed a reading um reading environments at home and just the culture of reading. And they all explicitly said that audiobooks are a viable and sometimes even a better option
For kids?
for readers. Yes.
For
Yes.
kids?
For
I'm gonna be one of those
children.
people who disagrees with experts.
Not exclusively, not like, turn in all your books and get an Audible account, but like to encourage they had all these terms.
Is it
I'll get my
curiosity?
notes, but to encourage the critical thinking, to encourage critical thinking, to encourage sitting with content for a specific amount of time. If someone does not want to sit with a hard copy book and can still get the information in this way, what they said is that you're developing a complementary set of skills, thumbs up, a complementary set of skills that will make reading, turning the pages stronger. And same on the other side, if someone exclusively loves turning the pages, that every now and again, listening to an Audible book will help them with the manual reading. So they're complementary skills, but they specifically said, because I was the facilitator of this conversation and I was talking to them just like this. I was like, hold on, hold on, hold on. I have been hiding the fact that I've been reading audiobooks for 5 years because I was embarrassed. And they had years and years and years and tons of research to say that audio books are just as, if not in this day and time, more important for reading comprehension and long term and developing a long term love of reading than turning the pages. And that's when I was like, oh, okay. I mean,
So let me walk back something.
mhm,
Complimentary, I 100% agree with. You saying okay, when I say audiobooks aren't reading, I mean that in the literary and now I can't talk, maybe I need more audiobooks in my life, but I mean that literally. It is not
yeah.
reading. It is listening, it's experiencing, it's consuming. But if you were to say, "I read this book," and you would listen to the audiobook, I don't feel any kind of way about that because you still read the book. I'm not gonna say you didn't read the book. I'm not gonna say you don't know what's in the book. My fear, and I noticed this in myself, is that when most people listen to audiobooks because they don't have time to read, and that's what they say. That's what a lot of people say.
Hmm.
But you're also multitasking. You're
Hmm.
listening and you're doing laundry and you're doing this and you're doing
Driving,
that.
whatever.
You're going to miss something. You're going to miss something. I personally, listen, my book was nominated for an Audi. I don't hate audiobooks. Like I like
Hmm.
audiobooks. But as a writer, there's
Hmm.
certain work that I do in the placement of words that I
Mm,
think is very important for it to be read, right? Right for readers. If I was
mhm,
writing for listeners, I would do something completely different.
mm,
I had an audiobook, an Audible book. It was an Audible exclusive that I hate. I don't tell any when I tell people I have one book. I hate it. Not because I don't think it's reading, but because
mhm,
I didn't write for listeners. And so it doesn't work the way that I would have liked it to work if I was
mm,
writing
mhm,
for listeners. So
mhm,
so I don't have a problem with people also, when it comes to, like, nonfiction books and books that are, like, heavier, I listen to the audiobook because it's like a lecture to me,
mhm,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I want to hear how the research works because it's like a lecture, and that I retain that kind of information
Right,
better through
right.
audio
Yeah.
books. I just think that it cannot be the only thing that you ever read.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Or I mean, I get it, you found a love for reading because you were able to do it in these different ways. I As long as the people are reading, as long as the people as long as books are being but there are some things that were specifically constructed, designed to be read so you can look over the words. And then there are other things that work either way. I think fiction
Yeah.
works either way. But I don't know if I told you that I listen and read at the same time. So if I'm
Yeah.
home and I'm able to, I'll sync up my Kindle and my Audible and I'll read the book.
Mhm.
There's
Mhm.
this one book, it was like a just a silly little, not silly, sorry, but like it was just like a I want something light to read.
Fun.
And yeah, so I'm listening to it, and there was something that they kept saying something. I was like, "What are they saying?" I'd go rewinding and rewinding and I was like, "Let me just get the thing." Went looked at the book. There were 3 words that I promise you I have never heard in my entire life. I have never heard these words in my entire life. So I
Mm.
didn't know what they were talking about because I don't know these words. And I was like, are there other times when I hear something that I don't know and I'm just like, keep going. I don't have time for it. That's the
Right.
kind of shit that I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that it removes for some people. You know what? Actually, I'll say that. For some people, it removes the curiosity and it's more about proving consumption than it is about getting anything out of the book, right?
yeah, I've
So
definitely
I've
seen
had
that.
people argue that reading or listening to 10 audiobooks a week is the exact same thing as reading 10 books a week.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not.
that's
And the
not.
reason why they're saying that is because they need to make themselves feel good. I read too. I'm just as smart as you are, but that's not the conversation that's being had. Do you
Right,
understand what
right.
I'm
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I mean, I've seen people, people will put their books on 2.5 speed and
Oh,
just to
that's
get
it.
through it. And I was like, "You
Yes.
can't take that." Like, for a lot of
Yes.
the books that I read, for a lot of the books I listen to, I put it on 0.75 because I want to, if I'm driving
Yeah.
or if there's something because I want to take it in. But, yeah, there are definitely a subset of people that are just, like, reading to say I read 150 books this year, which I don't
Yeah.
even know is a good thing, but that's, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely see it. I definitely see it. It was really enlightening to hear like the professionals take on reading, especially for
I
young
would like to
kids.
see that if you
Yeah, I'll send you the black woman that's doing this research at Morgan State. I'm gonna find her name because she was so dope. And she has a study, and I think she actually has a consortium at Morgan State of, like, scholars that are studying specifically for Black students and Black children and families how to increase reading scores and using audio and using a mixture
Yeah,
of,
I think when it complementarily, especially for kids who struggle with, like, dyslexia or
Yeah,
reading,
yeah, for sure.
I think that I mean, I hate being that, like, I know I'm not an expert, but I
Yeah.
think complementary, especially when you struggle to read, hearing it and then seeing it and being able to connect the 2 things, I think that's important.
My
I
dau
don't think it should replace. I really
Yeah.
don't. I really don't.
My daughter is reading a Shakespeare book in school, A Midsummer Night's Dream. Is that Shakespeare?
I love that book, yeah.
Yeah, she's
Fiction.
reading that now, and we bought her the hard copy book, and they have the audio book at school, and she's reading both because like, at the same time, like, she'll have the book in front of her and listening to it because
Yeah.
she was saying that Old English Shakespeare style
Yeah.
of writing, like,
It's
she was getting confused with the "thee," "thou," "there," "that," "zoo," and it's helped her like, she is so into this book, and I think it's because, 1, she's a 13-year-old girl and she just loves drama.
yeah.
She just loves the drama in
Yeah.
everything, like,
Oh, what's
"Guess
Tea
what?"
Juliet?
Yeah, oh my god, like, she's turned this book into a Netflix series in her head. And you
Yeah.
never guess. Then they went out to the woods and they turned them into deers, and I'm like, "What?" But, I think that the audiobooks help in so many different scenarios, right? And
But
that I think that's
can
a
I
really good. I'm glad that and she thought of this on her own to have the hard copy in front of her while listening, and it's just helped her dive into the book so much easier.
but this proves an earlier point.
Mm.
Those books were plays. They were meant to be heard.
Mm,
So
mhm,
listening to
mhm.
the audiobook makes sense.
Makes
It was
sense, yeah,
written
yeah,
to be
yeah.
heard.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, yeah.
If Shakespeare was like, "Oh, damn, they're gonna read this in like 500 years," it would have been. I think that he was. If you compare it to the writing of the time that were books and not plays, it's different.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
different.
yeah,
But
for
that
sure.
is really smart, Brooklyn. I think
Yeah,
that a lot of teachers should incorporate that when it comes to like Shakespeare and things that have dated language and
yeah,
dated syntax. I think that's important. That I agree with. But
yeah,
it makes my point. Some things were written to be heard.
yeah, yeah, for
Or
sure.
somebody said that, "Oh, so you're saying that storytellers aren't readers?" Yes, I am, because they're storytelling, and they tell
Yeah,
the story to the audience the way that the audience they're able to construct and shape words to get emotional reactions from it. It's
mhm,
different.
mhm. It's different, and I think for you, like, as such, like, your writing style, I could see why you would take that personally, right? Like,
I'm not
it's
taking it
like
personally.
no, but like, why it means so much to you because
Mm.
you are a creator in that space, and I would assume that a lot of the people that you were talking to haven't created and are not artists in that way, and it's like, for some any form of art, right? Like, any form of art, like, I specifically remember
Yeah.
music in, like, in the mid-2000s, like, the 11s, 12s, when Beats came out, when the Beats headphones came out,
Mhm.
you would have a different experience listening to it with headphones over the ears than just the iPod ears.
Nigga,
Or if you just listen to it on the phone speaker, it's not the same
it's not
music.
the same. All
You can
the
hear it. It sounds like, oh, you can hear that beat, but when you put these on and you're hearing the birds tweeting in the background, and you can
Do
hear,
you
like,
know how
you know what I'm
many
saying?
fucking background ad libs that I have heard in the last week
Yo,
from
me
these songs I've been
too.
listening to for 30
It's so true. It's
just
so
in the
and it's
background, like, there's a song, Black Star, where Kweli says, "You Spice Girls rappers wanna be." In the background, fucking Mos Def is singing, "If You Wanna Be My
"You
Lover."
want what you really, really want." I know that
Yes!
is.
Yes! I was like,
I know
it
exactly
was
what you're
stuff
talking.
like it was stuff like that
Yeah.
all week. I was like, this is one I'd heard when he was like, "Your soul is bulletproof like Sade," and then you got Most in the back singing, "Hit you with the slow
Good.
bullet." That I'd heard, but it's just like lyrics that I was hearing differently. It's just I'm listening to Black on Both Sides, "Do It Now" featuring Busta Rhymes.
Uh-huh.
I've listened to that song 20 almost daily for 20 years. I love that song.
Yeah.
Then I was like, "Wait a minute, are they changing their inflection every time they say what you want? How you do what?" Went back, every single time is different. Every single time is different.
Ooh.
And it
I don't even think
and the inflection
I love that song.
and the response and then and then the verse that comes after it,
Mm,
fucking brilliant. Shit is so brilliant. But to your point about my book, if you listen closely, there are certain things in the audio that I changed. And I asked, like, when I was in there, I was like, "Okay, I'm reading this, and as a listener, I need to switch these things around. I had to get permission, and they gave me permission to do that." So the audiobook,
oh,
not
wow.
drastically, but it's a little
Uh-huh.
bit different.
Yeah.
There's also my acknowledgments
Mhm.
in the written form of my book is its own chapter. Like, it is part of the story, the acknowledgments and the people that were there for me and what they did. Like, that's part of the writing for me. I didn't do that in the audiobook. It's not in the audiobook. There are friends of
Mm.
mine who were in the acknowledgement that had no idea because they listened to the audio and they didn't read the book. I was like,
Uh-huh.
in my book," but, like, yeah. So it's different. I'll
Wow, that's
stand by that, it's
fascinating. That's
different, and it's
fascinating.
important. I think it should be different. I think it
Yeah,
should be.
yeah, 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 yeah. Agree, agree, agree. Another fascinating conversation, Bossy. I'm glad you're back. I know you've been
Glad to be back.
coughing throughout. Thanks for sticking it out.
Eh,
I think this is a really great conversation, and I just want to impress. If we have last words, my last words are for Black men, and uh, my I don't know. My words for Black men right now are just to listen more, talk less when it comes to defending your manhood or your masculinity
mhm,
or undermining or trying to undermine or parallel the experiences that women are going through right now.
mhm,
The same feeling that every Black man had when George Floyd was killed, Ahmaud Arbery, what's his name? The young 18, the
uh,
19-year-old kid that was killed,
Ferguson, Mike Brown,
Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, like
Trayvon,
that same feeling that Black men
Sandra
felt.
Bland,
Sandra, yeah, but like, yeah, that whole, but I'm
but
just saying,
yeah, I know your point, but, like, that proves your point is all I'm saying, that's all.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
exactly. Like that
there's your
same
point.
feeling that we all felt, like Black men are under attack when the whole Black Lives Matter movement was created. And we felt like, man, like, can I trust any police? Like, am I gonna? We all felt that. Like that, Black women are experiencing that right now. And
Mhm,
every time we insert our, but that's not me, or that's not this, or hey, what about this? Or,
mhm,
you know, he was angry, or Black mental health, like all that shit, just shut the
yeah,
fuck up. Just
yeah,
quiet down. Give women a space to share their concerns and their fears. Listen to them and
mhm,
respond with love. That's it.
and
That's all you gotta
compassion.
do. Is to like, damn, I'm sorry you're feeling like that. Damn, like that sucks. And if you want to insert yourself, like I know that feeling of feeling hunted and
Mhm,
you feel like you can't trust anybody. I understand that feeling and I feel sorry that you have to feel that way. That's it. We
yeah,
don't have to propose a solution. We don't have to say, and we're going to do better for you. That's it.
yeah,
We're going to do better. We're going to keep
yeah.
trying. We're going to get this right. We protect you.
Check
That's
my
it.
people. I'm gonna, the one of the things that Black women say is when you see this happening, step in. And then a lot
Yeah.
of brothers like, well, I could get killed. Like they could
Yeah.
turn it like we'll both be dead now. And
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, so you're afraid of men, is what you're saying.
Hey, guess who else is afraid of men? Me, nigga. That's who. What the fuck?
Now go talk to your friends about that. Go amongst yourselves
Right.
and
Right.
discuss what that means. It's crazy because I'm working on this book now, and it's not. Please, no one gets excited. Is anyway.
What?
There's
What?
part of the
What?
conceit. No, listen. Part of the conceit that is like these two people meet and they don't share last names, but they hang out. And then
Uh-huh.
I had to sit there like, how am I going to let this woman? I wrote these characters, mind you. How am I going to make it that this woman hangs out with this man whose last name she doesn't know without like the cloud of something could happen. I had to write that a cousin called and all these different things. I had to think about that because it is unrealistic that this woman on
Yeah.
vacation by herself would hang out with this man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
can't happen. Not
Right.
that it can't
Right.
happen as an impossible, but no woman would do that. They would
Right.
have to share their location. They would have to share. His name is first name, middle name, last name from whatever.
Right.
Like, we
Right.
have to do that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the fact that even in a made up fantasy world, I am not capable of not doing that. It says a lot. It says a
Yeah.
lot. Also, because we're talking about because I was talking about Black Star, the song where Mo says, I find it distressing. There's never no in between. We the niggas are kings. We the bitches are queens. That's
Mhm.
that's where we're living right now. And I think
Mm.
that's what we need to find that in between for all of us.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Damn, I'm gonna listen to most stuff for the rest of the day.
You have to. You have to listen to Black Star, then listen to Black on Both Sides, then listen
Yeah.
to what's the Reflection Eternal? They're just ahead of their time.
Did
Like
you ever hear the album they released, like, last year or 2 years ago?
I don't acknowledge it as a
Why not?
thing that I heard one song and I said, "Okay, I'm okay." I'm
No,
the
it's
reason why I'm the reason why artists can't have careers, because if there's an album that I like, I haven't heard a De La album until the last one since Stakes is High came out,
mistakes is
because Stakes is High was so fucking important to me. It's like, I can't ruin this for myself. I did it,
mhm,
you know what, Midnight Marauders was so important to me. I was like, "Oh my god,
yeah,
yes." And
yeah,
then
yeah.
was it Love Movement? Love,
I'm gonna say love,
it had
love, no.
Stressed Out, it had Stressed Out on it, and
Yeah, I can
they
see the
made
cover.
Consequence. I've
Yeah.
got beef with Consequence to this day because of what he did to
Okay,
this
okay.
day. So I like to know what I know and like it there, but I
Listen,
heard a
that
couple
album is
things and I was
fire.
like, "Okay,
That
I'll
new
listen to it."
but it you remember they released it weird? It was, like, on, like, 8 different platforms, and
It's
you had
like
to,
on
like, pay
Luminal or
into it.
something. They didn't wanna stream it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I if you need it, I have it, and
Oh, give it to me. Yeah, 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 send it to
it's
me.
really good.
Yeah,
It's
send
a
it to me.
dope album. It went unnoticed because you had to go through 8 different paywalls to find it, but it's
Yeah.
dope. I go back to that regularly. But I'm gonna listen to Mos Def. I'm gonna put that on right now in the house.
Yeah, listen to Black Star, listen to Most Def,
Yeah.
you will be amazed. When I
That
heard
was
that
like
"Zigga Zigga Ah" after he said "Spice Girl," I was like, "God damn, these fucking geniuses."
that okay, I know we're gonna end it, but that Busta Rhymes Black Star song, like, you remember who Busta was at that moment? And
Yes,
Black Star, like, that merger was, like, my favorite. That last verse with Mos Def came like, "You better watch out." Yo, that
"Your pussy sound getting
fucking,
locked up." Me and Busta Rhy
like,
oh my gosh. Oh my god,
that
he was like,
whole
"The
that
2 hottest
exchange
Negroes in estados you need to"
yo, that whole
I
exchange
love it.
felt like they were literally in
Flow
the
state.
booth fighting over one microphone, and they were, like, passing it back and forth, like,
Flow
"Ah."
state. That's what like, "What's up with you?" Like, they were like,
Oh my god. I'm listening to that right now.
my
That's
god,
crazy.
it's just this
That
is
was such
why
an important album.
it takes so much these days because I was there. I was outside when these niggas was doing this. Can't
Man,
Young Thug, I can't. You gotta
not at
give
all.
me more. I can't.
Not at
You know
all.
what I heard? You know where I come from?
Man.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. This has been a great episode. Find us at all the places you listen to podcasts. We are the Idea Pod, and we'll holler at you next week. Keep finding the truth in the chaos, clarity in the culture, and the joy in the journey.
And go
Peace
talk to
out.
some people outside,
Yeah,
offline.
outside. Get offline.
Bye.